Ashley McBryde with us this week. Thank you so much, my dear. First off, congratulations, 3 CMA award nominations. So cool.
It is cool. It's been a big week. I mean, last year I had 1 nomination, and then we tripled that this award season. So it's been wild. I mean, we had a #1 in Canada, and then the record went gold in Canada and the US, and then right after that was the 3 CMA nominations. So it's been a little overwhelming.
Do you ever just pinch yourself sometimes and just take a moment to let it all soak in and just, man?
All the time. Like, we finally broke top 10 on the country chart, which may not be a big deal for other people, but is a huge deal for me because I've never done that before. So I had one of my co-writers come over, and we were out on the back patio, which is tiny, very respectable. And we were sitting there with each other, and I was like, I feel like we should be jumping up and down, but we're just kind of staring at each other. Like we didn't know really how to act. So we made sure we sat there for like 6 or 7 minutes, completely silent with each other to try to just like let it soak in.
Man, you mentioned that 1 nomination last year. You're talking about your Grammy nomination.
Yeah, and last year at CMA was New Artist of the Year.
Yes, exactly. So I heard at the Grammys, you had your whole get up, dressed to the nines, beautiful dress, but you kept the boots on.
I have yet to walk a red carpet without a pair of Ariat boots on. And now I mean, there may be a time where we have to, just because it does not go with whatever we're wearing. But I mean, I had on a Lazaro gown and a pair of Ariat boots. They're easier for me to walk in. Plus, it's just part of, I mean, I've had them on for over a decade. So I've been wearing boots since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. So it's really, like we would say, it's on brand. It's on par for who I am.
And I think there's something so authentic and real about that too, because here you are in this beautiful gown that costs, I don't know how many thousands of dollars, but you got the boots on. That's where you're from. That's your roots. That's where it all started.
That's staying grounded for sure. Plus, the boots look awesome. And I've got that gold pair that just absolutely steps up the game on whatever I'm wearing that night on stage. So yeah, it does help keep you grounded. Plus, they're comfortable. And if you have to walk, everything about red carpet is uncomfortable, because there's all these cameras and they're all yelling like, look this way, don't look this way. And like, we hate your clutch. And you like stand there and pretend you don't feel, oh yeah. And you have to stand there and pretend you don't feel uncomfortable in, your Spanx and your whatever layers you've got on, whatever body parts might be taped. And you, like, if you can have one little piece of comfort, then I think you should have it.
How is it? I love that. When all those cameras are on you and you're trying to do the look, in your mind, are you like, keep the smile or give 5 different looks as I turn my shoulders? What is that?
Yeah, I try to tell myself, smile. And also, like, sometimes your publicist will tell you, like, remember, 1 foot in front of the other, weight in the back. Oh. And I'm like, okay, weight in the back, but my weight is all around me. Like, I'm not a tiny person. So you kind of just always sit there and go, try not to look huge. But luckily, the things that we strap ourselves into are pretty good at helping out with that.
See, the things you never know when you've never walked a red carpet. Now it's like a day in the life.
It's one of the most unglamorous things. Getting to red carpet is one of the most unglamorous things you could experience, because there's somebody tugging you into this thing and they're doing your hair over here. And I guess it was my very first Grammys when they said, is there anything you can tell us about your outfit tonight? And I said, I'm wearing 2 different size boots, because they were the same exact pair, but one was a 7.5 and one was an 8. And whatever happened, I was trying one pair on, and then they said it was time to go. And we stuck my foot in the other one and we went. And so I had on a 7.5 and 8.
I love how real you are. It's like, hey, that's where we're at. That's what it's all about. You do that in interviews. You do it on your social media too. How important is that authenticity? Because a lot of times authenticity and social media, they're not best friends, kind of enemies sometimes, love-hate relationship. How important is that for you, your music, and then just for all the women and young girls that are following you?
So much of what we do has to be the polished version of everything. Of course, when you're performing at something like that, or when you're on stage, it does need to be the polished, the best foot you could step forward. And that's part of the reason, both in song and on Instagram, things like that, we show you the non-glamorous side, because there is, of course, an absurd standard that we all get held to. Because if you're going to have the size boobs you want, then your waist is not the size you want. And you know what I mean? And nothing is going to, none of us look like cartoon characters, not naturally anyway. And so that's important to me because it wasn't exactly pointed out to me as I was growing up that however you look is just how you look. And our creator worked really hard on making you look that way. And you should be really proud of that. So I just try to make sure everybody understands that the only difference between you and I at any given time is I'm behind a microphone right now. That's the only difference. I still like squeeze avocados when I pick them out. I scratch a cantaloupe and sniff it. Like we're all the same thing. And especially in music, I think you have to be honest that way. And I learned, I've always been pretty honest and open, but I heard a songwriter, heard his record before I ever met him, and it was Travis Meadows. And his songs were so real, it was almost uncomfortable. And that showed me a new level of being honest with yourself and being able to say it to others and how that impacts other people in such a positive way. Even if the subject is kind of scary, whether it's addiction or something like that, you can affect somebody in a really positive way by being like, I mean, here's my demons, have a look.
And it makes it so relatable too. And I think just allows, like you said, to rip off that curtain and that cover. And here we are, we're all humans in this world together trying to do good things and love on each other, and no one's always perfect. But I do believe you are perfect because you singing and playing the guitar, oh my goodness. There's one thing I wish I could be. I wish I could be you when it comes to being able to sing. I cannot do that. But you have your guitar behind you. Is this something, how often do you pick it up? Are you playing? And you said you were just playing it before our interview. What do you play when you just kind of pick it up?
And I just had a COVID test because we have to be tested. I'm playing the opera again, and you have to be tested and isolate for a few days. And the nurse came in, and I was trying to pick out songs to play for the opera. So I was just sitting there playing, and I turned around, and she was like, and I was like, sorry, it might be annoying. I don't know. You're trying to say.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, that lucky nurse.
I just pick all the time. Just finger picking. I'm more at home with a guitar in my lap than I am at any other time. And so like right behind where my phone is sitting right now is my TV. And right next to that is where my guitar hangs. So usually if I'm going to turn the TV on, I run and grab a guitar and sit down.
So good. So did you pick those songs for the Opry, or what goes into creating a set list like that?
Yeah, I was wondering because I'm going to do 2 tunes again. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. And since we're following COVID guidelines and everything, I don't have my band with me. It's going to be just me on the stage. And you have an opportunity then to, instead of being, which is very entertaining, a wall of sound and a big force of all 5 of us together, this is just one chick and just her guitar. And so you can play whatever you want. You can try to make a statement if you want. So I think I'm going to take a couple of our songs that are a little more raucous and a little more loud, and I'm going to show you what it was like when we wrote them and what they sounded like. Because first thing I reach for, which starts with that, was not written that way. It was a finger picking little, we were sitting on a front porch drinking bourbon in a coffee cup and finger picking. So, and
you mentioned writing. I want to go really quick, just the production of your albums. I was listening to an interview you did saying you didn't even listen to it until you were done.
Nope.
Wow. Is that by choice? Is that, what's the reason for that? And how hard is that? Is that nerve wracking?
We didn't realize we had done it, really. And because we're in there with Jay, and it's really easy. He's like, what song we're starting with? And, you know, whatever, just name one. All right, we're going to start with Hang In There, Girl. All right, well, let's play it. We play it 3 times. He was like, that sounded pretty good. All right, what song we want to do second today? I'm like, oh, I was thinking we would do this song today. And he was like, okay, cool. Let's play that real quick. We play that through 3 times. And then after 2 or 3 days, he said, you know, we haven't listened back to any of this. Do you want to listen back to it? And I said, I don't think I do. Let's just keep not listening to it and then see what happens. So the very last day of recording, I know it's the day we cut Styrofoam, but we cut something else that day. I think it was Never Will that morning that we cut. And he said, I want you guys to come stand in front of the console. And if you have the vinyl, I think it's in the CD too, but if you have the vinyl of the record, there's a picture on the inside of all the guys. They've all kind of got their arms crossed and maybe one's smoking, but they're all kind of looking down or looking away. We didn't pose this picture. This was the moment where Jay hit play on everything we had done thus far. And we all just sat there and listened to it. And at the end of it, and he said, and that's what it sounds like when you don't overthink it. You just make a record. We looked at each other like, it was that one of those times where it's sort of like playing the Opry for the first time. playing late night TV for the first time, where you go, I think something just changed. Something just clicked inside. It was a really interesting way to do it, and I'll probably will do it that way on the next record too.
It just speaks volumes to the talent of you, the talent of your band, and how neat that you have that photo now to kind of capture that moment in time. So perfect. One performance I got to bring up, I just listened to it again this morning, you singing Amazing Grace at the Ryman. Oh my goodness. Brought tears to my eyes. You were only at maybe not even a couple words in, and there's something so raw and real about that. Was that for you a highlight moment? Because for me personally, it was a highlight moment, and I didn't sing it there.
It was really hard. And they said, Easter's coming up. We can get us into the Ryman. Of course, there was like a total of 6 people, I think, in the building. Now, this includes the people that are operating all the equipment that they're filming with, and the people that work at the Ryman, and me and my manager. Like, it's only going to be 6 people. And he said, we'd like to give everybody a message of hope. We've lost so much. This is right after Joe Diffie has passed away. And then not even a week later, Mr. John Prine passed away, who's a huge, huge hero of mine. And that one just hurt. I just couldn't keep from crying, because I'm trying to honor those we've lost in the mother church, the church that invented country music and invented me in so many ways. And it was just too much. I tried to sing it 6 different times. And I finally looked at the director and I said, I just can't do it. I looked at Drew, my manager, and said, I'm sorry, buddy, I can't do it. And then 2 evenings later, they sent me the clip and they said, we got it. And I was like, wow.
Amazing.
I said, I know it's pretty broken up and it's pretty teary, but if you're okay with it, we'll put it out. I was, well, we have to. Mm-hmm. That's what we were there for.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad you did. It just shows what music does. We could just hear a couple words and it hits you at the core of your heart. So thank you for putting that out. Thank you for your music and what you do, and just being you and being real. I so appreciate it. Before I let you go, what's next in this crazy times that we're living in? Are there concerts that you can plan, you don't plan? I know you said the Opry, but that looks different.
That looks different now. The live streams are, we've all been doing live streams since the beginning of March. So that me on this couch is only so entertaining for so long. But we're starting to see drive-in shows work. We're starting to see people obey the rules, stay with their cars, not in them, but with them. Mm-hmm. Masking up when they have to walk to a restroom, things like that. And if we're going to follow the rules and keep each other safe, I think we can do this. The shows are going to be on a little smaller scale. We don't have a choice. But as long as we can find a responsible way to do it, we will. And there was a rodeo in the South that I've been wanting to play it for years and years. And we were finally booked to play it. They'd never had a female headliner. And we asked about following the rules and social distancing, and they said, we're going to leave that up to the individual, which I understand. Mm-hmm. But that's not my stance on it. There are people in my band whose parents are elderly, mine included, that are immune compromised. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't willing to chance one of us getting my mom sick or getting Sancho's mom sick. I'm not going to have that happen. So as long as we can find a way to responsibly do it, we're going to do it. And I mean, if it was safe, if bars were just like regular old open, I would be somewhere in Kentucky right now playing in a bar tonight, because that's how I made my bread and butter for so many years. Right. In fact, I played a party a few nights ago here in East Nashville, and this lady had just asked, does anybody have like a friend that plays guitar? We don't have that friend that comes over and plays guitar. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll go do it. And I did it. It was like 3.5 hours just sitting and playing tunes. It was awesome.
That would be my dream party. Can you be my friend? I don't have a friend.
Evidently, you can just give me a call and I will come sit by the pool and sing to you and the kids. Songs, but it's songs from the 60s and 70s. It was awesome.
Oh, man. Ashley McBryde, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for what you did for being you, and can't wait to see you out there back on the road again, whatever that looks like. We'll be there cheering you on.
I love it. Thanks for taking time with me today.
You got it. Thanks, Ashley.